Hey guys, welcome. We're going to get started. Welcome to the official 2020 28-day challenge kickoff. So we are going to get going here. Awesome. Oops. Good deal. All right. Oops, I'm a little ahead in my slides. So we're ready to kick off. This is our 28-day challenge. I know that you guys are all excited to hear more detail about what's going to happen the next 28 days, okay? So we are going to talk a little bit about what we're covering today. We're going to cover the goals of the challenge, like what we're really trying to accomplish here. We're going to do a little talk about a self-assessment. This is super important, starting with why and why you want to make this change in your life, okay? We're going to talk about the basics with the plate method, all right? So I probably, if you've heard about this program at all and heard about me talking about the plate method, it is the pillar of this program. So we're going to talk about that and how that's our goal this week, what to expect during these 28 days, and also week one, what is that going to look like? What is my habit going to be? What happens tomorrow? Okay. At the end, we're going to have some questions and answers, and we'll get right to it. Okay. Awesome. So the goals of this challenge is to keep it simple. So simplicity is sustainable, okay? So long-term comes with simple solutions. Doing too much too soon is really a way and a recipe for disaster. A lot of times, if you can think about like the things that you've done in the past and what has not worked well, a lot of times we try to go too hard, right? We cut out all the sugar, we cut out all grains, we cut out all carbs. Sometimes doing too much is not sustainable in the long term. So we're all about building long-term habits, doing one thing at a time, adding one thing. It's a slow but sustainable process. So a lot of times you might be used to losing like 10 to 15 pounds right away. This is not that program. This is not a crash diet. This is about changing your lifestyle and eating in a way that is going to support your goals, but also that you're going to be able to eat out and eat with friends and still be able to sustain this change, okay? This is really a stress-free eating. So we're not focusing on weighing and measuring and getting precise with hitting certain numbers. We're really taking away that stress and to improve your relationship with food and to really know what foods are good for you and know what you can have more of and what you should be mindful of. Again, and also with this challenge, I think what the great part is that you get to do a little bit of interaction and fun doing this with other people. Okay. We're going to talk about a self-assessment. So some questions that you ask during your self-assessment. So is, what does success look like for you? When routines change, it's easy to put nutrition and fitness on the back burner. So instead, we're going to focus on what we can control. Proper nutrition, fitness, stress, sleep. Take some time to really think about what success looks like to you. We're going to find a new normal. Quarantine has left us still not the same. Things are still up in the air, right? So how can we find a new normal? How can we gauge into like healthy habits and use this as a new opportunity and a springboard? So think about like what hasn't worked well in the past for you. What didn't work well in the past, like what did work well, like what have you struggled with the most in the past, like what got you off the rails before, what has inhibited you from seeing results in the past. All this is going to really help you really focus in on what you need from this program and how this program can help you. We're talking about goal setting. So understanding the why behind your goal is super important. So your goal to fit back in your favorite jeans, it might be that. So why is that important to you? A lot of times I ask my clients to dig deeper. Why do you want to fit in those jeans? A lot of times it has to do with confidence. It's about feeling good in your own skin. It's about feeling comfortable with your body. Those are deeper in your gut of like why this is important. So being sure to understand that why is really important, or to stay focused and stay on track with your goals. When we set goals, we want to ask smart goals. We want to start setting smart goals. So you're going to set a short-term goal for 28 days. What is your goal within that 28 days? Make sure that that's a SMART goal, that it's specific, that it's measurable, that it's attainable, that it's realistic, and that it's time sensitive. A lot of us have been talking about attainable and realistic. How many pounds can I lose in 4 weeks? Well, on average, you lose 1 to 2 pounds. This is not a crash diet. This is a shift in how you're eating and eating whole foods. So that is, helps you with that realistic and knowing like the time frame of this. So here's how you will achieve your long-term and short-term goals. It's by turning them into habits, by making, a lot of us talked about like picking consistently healthy foods. So how can you consistently complete action steps that get you towards eating more healthier and not even thinking about eating healthier and just having that be second nature? So what makes you keep a habit? Focusing one thing at a time. So a lot of times, again, we said like it's too much too soon, gets you off track. So one thing, it's not until we nail that one thing that we add something else, okay? We layer our habits that way rather than like doing that one like too much stuff, okay? So instead of taking away things, we add things. I never take away things from my clients. It creates this tension, this power dynamic that's just not helpful in what we're trying to achieve together. So let's add stuff. Let's add veggies. Let's eat more veggies with dinner and lunch. That's a perfect example of how we add versus taking away of what you can and cannot put on that plate. Okay, so the basics. So pick real food over food products. Looking at those labels that have a million things on them, that's not where we want to go. We want to keep simple. And if it doesn't have a label, even better. That's real food, right? So clean out your closet. So this means like your pantry, okay? So things that are going to be a temptation that like really trigger you into like bad habits with food. So maybe it's Doritos, maybe it's cookies, maybe it's Oreos, right? But pick to clean those out. Set yourself up for success. Also focusing on progress over perfection. So being consistent with eating veggies versus like eating perfectly every time and hitting your macros every time or hitting a certain calorie or hitting your points. I tell my clients constantly, we want consistency, not perfection, right? Real life isn't perfect. This is a real life solution, okay? So look at your food labels, pay attention to what is in there. If you can't read it, if you can't really pronounce it, probably shouldn't be eating it, okay? That's kind of the rule of thumb. We're gonna follow the plate method and we're gonna really dig into what the plate method is. So here's 2 versions of the plate method. For some folks, both of them look like the left at lunch, and some folks have a variety of this. The difference is if you're pretty sedentary and not active, you wanna have this lunch and dinner dichotomy, right? So you wanna have the plate method to look like this for lunch and this for dinner. But most of us are pretty active, so we're probably going to be doing the 2 meals at that lunch, right? So what that lunch looks like is half a plate of non-starchy vegetables, a quarter plate of lean protein, and then a quarter plate of complex carbohydrates or starchy carbs. So then you add a healthy plant-based source of fat. That plant-based source of fat comes in if that protein is super lean. So if you're having a protein that may be fattier, then you can leave that source of fat out, okay? So with dinner, if you're doing it this way here, that's shown here, and you're pretty sedentary, you're going to do 3/4 of a plate of non-starchy vegetables and a quarter of a plate of lean protein. As simple as the fact that is you're not burning as many calories as someone who is more active. So you're just taking down, you don't need as much energy from carbohydrates, okay? So now I'm going to define like these different portions and help us understand like what, how I want to fill that plate. Okay. So understanding protein. So protein provides us with important amino acids. They're key to building muscle and recovery. Not to mention they help us stay full. They help us feel satisfied. And when it comes to protein sources, focus on lean proteins. So chicken breast, turkey, egg whites, fish, but be aware of high fat protein sources that can provide upwards of 5 grams of fat per ounce of protein. So you're definitely packing more fat than you are protein in that circumstance. So examples of this is like ribeye, delicious, but lots of fat, and chicken wings. On average, protein provides about 4 calories per gram. and should make up about 30% of your caloric intake each day. So the food option guides help you understand what's lean and what's not, what's super fatty and what's not. It helps you here with kind of deciding what is what and what is a lean source of protein, okay? You'll find this in your Stay Healthy Challenge handbook that you got, or whether that's at your biometric appointment or in your email. So understanding carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, this is a macronutrient that gets a bad rap. Many foods under the carbohydrate umbrella, such as many foods are under this carbohydrate umbrella. So sugar, fruit, bread, pasta, grains, but also squash, sweet potatoes. Carbohydrates break down into glucose, which is your body's preferred source of fuel. Our bodies require carbohydrates to fuel our brain. So if you've ever been on a low carb diet and had that like brain fog, that's because your body's not getting enough fuel for your brain to work, right? So carbs are good for you in moderation. So carbohydrates provide 4 calories per gram and should comprise no more than 30 to 40% of your basic caloric intake, of your daily caloric intake, sorry. Here's a guide. This is definitely a big eye opener for many of my clients of like what's considered a non-starchy vegetable. So this is what you're gonna fill half your plate with. This is still a carbohydrate, but because they are so nutrient dense, so you can have lots and have little calories, you can pack up half your plate with that volume non-starchy carbs, so you can eat those up. For your carbohydrates, ideally you want to hit the side that's lower glycemic. Some folks I work with are more concerned with their blood sugar, specifically for diabetes. Like that might be a big priority for you. So this is definitely helpful in building awareness of what carbohydrates pack less calories, and that you can help and decide from there. Okay, so fat is also another one that gets a bad rep. Contrary to popular belief, fat does not make you fat. Fat actually helps you stay fuller longer. It helps you absorb fat soluble vitamins. However, fat is the most caloric dense of the 3 macronutrients. So it weighs in at 30 calories per gram of fat. Not 30, 9. I'm so sorry. 9. So compared to like 4 calories per gram of both protein and carbs. So definitely less is more when it comes to fat. So remember, a little bit goes a long way. We want you to choose a plant-based fat. So avocado oil, olive oil, you aim for fat to comprise about 30% of your caloric intake. So again, here are some ideas for healthy fats. Cookie and olive oil is always a great rule of thumb, but also like if you're eating salads and things like that, helping understand like what types of dressings may work best for you in terms of a plant-based fat. So planning your meal. So you're going to use this list that we've dug into to help plan your meals and help build the plate method. Okay. So each day you're going to pick one meal. You're going to pick what kind of protein, what kind of starch, what kind of vegetable, and what kind of fat I'm going to have with each of those meals. This is really a basic way to just plan it out. It's one of my favorite resources and doubles as a shopping list. So you can find this also in your handbook. This is going to be part of our first week challenge. So we're going to give each other ideas on what to build, okay? And how to break that out. So the HSN app. So this is what it looks like. You should be familiar with this. If you don't have it downloaded, download it now. We want you to, I'm going to open up my phone here. I'm going to show you my phone and walk you through what you're going to see, okay? Awesome. Start screen sharing. Oopa. Here, let me start screen sharing. Sorry about that. There we go. Don't stop mirroring this time. Okay, so you see my beautiful babies, kind of. And then also you're gonna click on my your Healthy Steps Nutrition right here. You are going to then see each day. So tomorrow you'll see this start. You're gonna track progress pictures. You're gonna track body stats. We're gonna dive into that a little bit. So when I click on take progress pictures, it's gonna tell you how to do it. You can take your pic now, or you can take it later, or you can pick a picture from your thing. So it tells you each pose to go through, and that's your progress pictures. You're gonna enter body stats. So you're gonna enter your body weight, your body fat percentage if you met with me, and then also your lean mass. So with this, you're also going to enter your body measurements. It's gonna tell you how to measure everything. Oops, sorry. It's gonna tell you how to measure everything. You're gonna enter those, so it can let you enter each one, okay? You're gonna add here, all right? So that is gonna be on Monday. That's what you're gonna do. Then on, tomorrow, that's what you're gonna do. I keep messing up my days. Tomorrow, you're also going to see follow portion guidelines. This tells you to do your plate method. Your portion guidelines are the same as your plate method, okay? So typically, you'll be able to go in there and, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. But you'll be able to go in there and then it'll say complete, and then you hit your check mark and then it's done there. It won't let me do that because, because of it's not today, that's for tomorrow. So that portion guidelines, once you hit that and complete, that will tell me that you finished your plate method that day. Another thing to mention here is that down here under programs, so we're looking at the bottom, under programs, you'll have a variety of stuff. So there you'll also have your plate method, you'll have your goal. So if you met with me and you have a specific body weight goal, that will be there, or a certain body fat percentage goal. Also your meal plan is gonna be here. You're just gonna click on that. You'll be able to look through. That will give you ideas for the 28 days of a meal plan, along with some grocery lists. Super helpful. You can print that here using that top function. Pretty straightforward there. So with the training program, this is another piece. So you're gonna watch your videos each week. Videos are gonna be available to you. You're gonna click right on there. This is going to be really helpful for tips for eating whole foods, what you can use the meal plan for, staples in your freezer. What are some good things? I know I run out from like fresh veggies like midweek. So what are some things as a backup that you can have in your freezer? Meatloaf muffins is the cooking demo this week. So each week there'll be a new cooking demo for an idea. Okay. So once you watch all of those, this little circle on the top will be filled in to say that you did it. So that will also be seen on my end. Your calendar can help you look through each day what's happening, okay? Awesome. So, cool. I think that's it for the app. Oh, I did want to mention one other thing. So down here, you can see, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but you can link different devices. So your Apple Watch, your Fitbit, they can all be linked to that to have your sleep and your steps tracked here. Definitely an option if that's what you want to do. Your body weight will populate once you fill that in your app. Also, same with the body fat percentage. Your progress pictures will be easily accessible there. This also, the resting heart rate and blood pressure is populated by your smartwatch or Fitbit or whatever. So that'll be helpful. Cool. So good to go here. Let me take this down. If you have any questions on the app, just let me know. You can reach out to me directly or reach out in the group, okay, in the Facebook group. Let's go back here. The app is definitely a couple tips. Bring it to your front screen. You can see that it was on my front screen. And I should show you right on my front screen, right? So it's right here, right at the beginning. Make it noticeable, make it easy to access. Also, you can, make it easy to access. You can also set your reminders. That's what you want to do. Okay, let's get back to this. All right, you should be seeing my slides here. Cool. So here we go. What's happening on Monday? All right, gonna dive into it. Here's what to expect. Your world is not gonna be flipped upside down. I want you to kind of figure out foods that you still like and that fit and that work for you and fit it into your plate method. So nothing is gonna be dramatically different. So don't feel like you have to like eat a case of ice cream tonight, right? Like, no. So you can know that tomorrow you should feel a little different, but pretty consistent, pretty easy. That's the goal here. Easy is sustainable, okay? So week 1, we're gonna do the plate method. You're going to pick one meal or one variation of the plate method, I should say. So for some folks who don't eat vegetables at all, a good starting point for them is to have 2 fistfuls of vegetables with one meal. That's a great starting point. If you do eat vegetables, so say that you're eating pretty much vegetables with dinner every night, maybe you're bumping that up to your half a plate and then adding a lean protein. Maybe you feel ambitious and want to do the whole plate method. So that can help you with making it easy. If you feel like, if you pick one and want to like change directions, we can do that. So we'll talk about that in a second too. So you're going to follow your accountability calendar. You should have gotten that either in my email or at your appointment, depending on when you could come or if you could come. That calendar we'll talk a little bit more about in the next slide. You'll have daily posts in your Facebook group. My goal is to make you not feel like you're questioning any moment of this, of like what you're doing or what you should be doing, right? So posts will be regularly there. So that support will be in that Facebook group. If you're not on Facebook and feeling lost, I encourage you to hop over to that. So with your weekly, we're going to do mini weekly challenges. We'll talk about what that looks like this week. Then we're going to do nutrition habit classes. So talking about our next habit of the week every Saturday. Those are going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to be 10:30 to 11. Super short, simple, talking about what's coming the next week, okay? So that's every Saturday at 10:30. Let's talk about your accountability calendar, okay? So we are gonna do, you can see the plate method through and through every day for the first week. We will continue doing the plate method through the remainder. We're just adding new habits each week, okay? So first week, plate method. Sunday, tomorrow, you are going to do a weekly meal plan. Your weekly meal plan will have, will be that different columns and filling that out. We're going to talk about sharing that with one another because it's going to be super helpful, I think, for you to see mine, for you to see other folks. So that's definitely for Sunday. Monday, we're going to try a new recipe. So the recipes are from HSN. They are all the plate method. So it makes it super easy to pick something that just falls right in line with what we're doing. So trying a new recipe, I always tell my clients, it's great to kind of mix it up a little bit. You want to eat the rainbow, not Skittles, right? But you want to eat a variety of foods, and that's definitely helpful. Especially helps get people out of like a stuck place sometimes. So that's Monday. Tuesday, we're doing stretching for 10 minutes. That can be anything. That can be yoga poses. That can be chair yoga, regular flow, whatever you want to do. Stretch your body, old school stretches, butterflies on the floor, right? Channel back your gym days, right? Any old school stretching. If 10 minutes feels like a lot at one time, you can do 10 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, or even break it up smaller than that. But choose to do some mobility, some stretching for Tuesday for 10 minutes. Wednesday, we're going to check in with a Facebook group. So it says partner there. This calendar was used for a partner challenge, but we're going to check into the Facebook group. I'll get that started. If you're not going to check in with me, then I'm I'm going to tag you and say, hey, like, how's it going? So before I tag you, make sure you're checking in that group. So we all check in with each other. So and I wanted to mention there, I'm scheduling a check-in, because there shouldn't be any moment where you're kind of floundering and not figuring out what you're doing, or not reaching your goal and need an adjustment. So that's what I'm there for. That's what the group's for, to help you get ideas, but also to empower you to keep moving along and pick a goal that's working for you, okay? Thursday is 10 minutes of self-care. This is something super powerful and helped me a lot through quarantine. Do something that brings you joy. Maybe it's a dance party in your living room. Maybe it's chasing your kids, playing a board game, painting your nails, drawing or coloring, something that brings you joy, something that makes you laugh. That's super important. So 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of that. That's for Thursday. Friday, we're gonna do a weekly gratitude practice. Gratitude practices are powerful. Ideally, you wanna write down 5 things that you're grateful for. It's more powerful to write it down than to do it in your head. So there's no wrong way to do this, but the goal of the exercise is to remember a good event, a good experience, person, something in your life, and then enjoy the good emotions that come from that. Not enough joy, okay? So just spending some time on weekly gratitude can be powerful, just 1 time a week, okay? Nothing that you have to publicly share, that can be private for you, but I want folks to be doing that. Mindset is everything, and really important part of this as well. So your next nutrition talk, we will dig into planning the next treat. You'll see that, planning a treat. You'll see that on Saturday. We want you to have control of your relationship with food. And so planning, you can have treats, but being empowered to be in control of that treat and not have that treat control you is super important. So there's no wrong way to do it, but there is a good way to improve your relationship with food and improve your quality of life. Okay, so this is your accountability calendar. It's going to be super helpful. You're going to write your goals, set your goal setting right at the top there. Saturday nutrition seminars. These are on each Saturday, 10:30. We will be here on Zoom. I will send out links. We will be talking about the next habit. Okay, bring your questions. Those will only be 30 minutes. So today is an hour. We're digging in a little bit deeper, but and like going over everything, but I just wanted to be sure you know that it's only a half an hour, so you can plan accordingly, okay? First week's mini challenge, awesome. So we're gonna write a meal plan and we're gonna post it to the Facebook group. So good. I can't tell you how many of my clients really need ideas from other people or just get stuck in a rut, right? So choosing to post your meal plan in that Facebook group is great engagement, but also helps you and can help other people, okay? So now let's address some frequently asked questions. I'm going to open it up at the end for questions, but first let's hit on some of the stuff that I get asked frequently. So do I need to follow the meal plan exactly? So meal plans are meant for inspiration, to show you what balanced meals and snacks look like. So pick and choose recipes that look good to you. Eat the foods that you like. Utilize the HSN Family Dinner Meal Planner resource. Pick staples that choose a few recipes that create balanced meals. So you can prep a batch of egg muffins, pulled chicken, meatloaf to set yourself up for success for the week. But don't feel like you need to cook and eat everything on the meal plan. Remember that the meal plan is there to just show you and give you examples for healthy meals and balance of that plate method. Do I have to eat the starchy carbs? Aren't carbs bad for you? I have clients too that are like, I don't eat carbs. Carbs aren't bad for you, okay? But you want to choose whole food sources of carbohydrates. You want to stick to lower glycemic food options. So the lower the glycemic index, the lower your sugar insulin response in your body, and the lower sugar in your body, the higher, and it also has higher fiber, okay? So digest better there. So can I eat a sandwich? Of course you can eat a sandwich, yes. If you love having a sandwich for lunch, great. Have it. If you're eating a sandwich for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe let's reassess there, right? But If you're eating a sandwich, choose a whole grain, a sprouted wheat bread. There's a bunch of options for whole grain sandwich flats to make an open-faced sandwich. Next, add a lean protein. So make sure that you're adding that and then loading up on some veggies. You can finish it off with hummus, avocado, and then you have a plate method sandwich, right? So you can accomplish and reach some of these goals while still having a sandwich. Definitely super important. Remember that you can always utilize the plate method to incorporate your favorite recipes and your favorite food, okay? So what snack bars can I have? So when choosing a snack bar, you want to make sure it's balanced. Many snack bars are like marketed as like healthy, limited ingredients, high protein, but are actually really high in carbohydrates and low in protein. So you want to make sure that you're reading the label. So some suggested ones for this program particularly are the RX bar or the RX Kids bars, very few ingredients there, low sugar kind bars, also perfect bars, perfect mini bars. Those you can find in the grocery section, usually like where the cut up fruit is and things like that. I know that's where it is at my local Hannaford. So those are where perfect bars are. So frequently asked question number 5. So do I have to weigh my food? No. There's no need to buy a food scale, no need to weigh out your portions. Everything you're going to do is the hand portion size guide. Know that the hand portion size guide and the plate method are the same thing. Just basically the plate method is just mapping it out visually. The hand guide portion is like, say you're putting it in a bowl and doing 2 handfuls of non-starchy veggies, 1 palm or 2 palms of protein, depending man or a woman, 1 pound for a woman, 2 pounds for a man, a half of a palmful of starchy carbs, a thumb of fats. So that's the same as your plate method, but say you're not using a plate and doing a bowl or doing a smoothie or something like that. You can definitely add all those components. Yeah. And so note that like we do some weighing for advanced clients. So if you have specific body composition goals, you would benefit from food weighing. But this is the first basic step. So it's similar to, I talked about this a lot with like a squat, right? We want you to be able to do an air squat without any weight really well first. We want all those movements to look good without any weight. So adding that weight is kind of like adding macros or adding weighing, measuring, counting calories. We're not going to have you to do that unless you can do some of this basic stuff first. Eating whole foods, eating a balanced plate. That is really the basics that we need you to be at before you become an advanced client. Okay? So 27, so do I have to eat it all? No. If you feel like your portions are too large, try just eating a smaller amount. Simple as that. Eat less. So eating whole nutrient-dense foods may make you feel more full. So if you need a meal or a snack in or something like that and you're not feeling hungry, a smoothie can help, okay? So I was talking about how, just today, I was talking about how I build the plate method with my smoothies in the morning. So this helps me like when I'm on the go. I was at the gym a lot this week trying to get people's biometrics in. I knew that my like lunch wasn't going to be a little sketchy, right? Because I was eating a little bit later. Wanted to have a really good lunch or really good breakfast. So I took a scoop of protein powder, water. I did half a banana, 2 handfuls of spinach, and a little bit of ice because I like it cold, nice and cold. And that was my plate method. Protein from that powder, starch from the banana, and veggie from the spinach. And spinach doesn't really taste like anything in those shakes. So try it out if you haven't before. Kale's also a good adder without a lot of a taste. Awesome. At this point, I opened it up to questions. I'm re-recording this because I forgot to record it in the original recording, but some questions that came up was, how do I prep for tomorrow? I'm starting the plate method tomorrow, so what do I do? If you're going to the grocery store, shop the perimeter. hit up that, that veggie section. I swear 90% of my grocery cart is vegetables when I go grocery shopping. Load up on those, can't have enough, right? And then hitting your meat section, right? So you're picking out some of your favorite lean proteins. So whether that's fish, whether that's chicken. I also always tell folks too, if you're doing a really lean beef, like 90%, it's pretty much the same as ground turkey. So if that's not your thing, feel free with a really lean ground beef, use that list, the food options list, to help you build a grocery list. And your meal planning list is going to help you with that grocery list for tomorrow. Okay. So, right. So another question that came in was about breakfast. I don't eat breakfast in the morning, but I do eat later at night. So my answer to that was, you know, it's a big indication if you're eating later at night that you didn't have enough calories through the day. Eating in the morning can be easier by like eating a smoothie, like we said. So you can make a plate method with that smoothie, try to have something in the morning, and then we can reassess whether you really need to eat that later at night. Maybe it's going to help offset that. Okay. So I think that was the last of the questions. We didn't have a lot from people specifically, right? If you have additional questions, you can send me them directly or post them in the group. Sometimes helpful for other people to see those questions. So let's recap. Start the week with your healthy habits, right? So everything that you need to do is going to be loaded in your app. It's going to be on your accountability calendar. Okay, those two things. Ask questions in the Facebook group. Like I just said, like if you have any questions, I'm sure other people do. Put those up there. You can also reach out to me directly if you have a specific question about you. Okay. You're going to do all your communication. I should go back a second. You should do all your communication with me in the app. I should show you here. I think I didn't show you earlier about the app specifically. Let me show you where to message me. There is a ton of ways to reach out to me, like whether through the gym phone, through the gym phone, through Facebook, through text, through email. I'm not good at keeping track of all those things. So the best way to get in touch with me is through the app. If you look at the app, let me show you right here. If you go into the app, you see this label of Underwood Park CrossFit down here. That's how you message me, a direct message, okay? So if you need to reach out to me one-on-one, I wanted to make sure that I showed you that as well. Let's go back to here. What are your action steps? Okay, so you're gonna put that accountability calendar visible somewhere where you see it a lot. Maybe it's on where your calendar is, maybe it's at your work desk, maybe somewhere where you are every day. Maybe it's in your bathroom, whatever works for you, okay? Make sure it's visible and posted. You're gonna put Saturday nutrition seminars in your calendar. 10:30 every Saturday. The last Saturday you won't see one scheduled, but we're gonna meet one-on-one with each of us as we finish up the challenge, okay? You meet with me one-on-one, okay? We're gonna do a weekly assessment. So, a complete self-assessment. This is where you're gonna talk about your why, set your goals a little bit, and then we're gonna do your weekly meal plan. That's gonna be the plate method, okay? So the plate method, you can do really any variation of that. You can do one meal for the plate method, 2 meals for the plate method, or if one meal seems like a lot and you're not like a vegetable eater right now, maybe that's just a half a plate of veggies, okay? A lot of folks are doing 1 meal. A handful are doing 2, okay? If my suggestion to you is if your plan is to do 2 and you're having a hard time reaching that, or say 1 or 2 days you're only reaching 1, right? We want you to step back and only do 1. You can always ramp it up to 2 the next week or the 3rd week or the 4th week. You have some time here, okay? We want to start slow and attainable, all right? So we want to make sure you reach that. If you're on 1 plate method and you're like not reaching that and having a hard time, maybe do a half a plate of veggies. If half a plate of veggies is too hard, maybe just do the protein. Pick one piece of the plate method, and then we can build out to a full plate method over the 4 weeks, okay? So picking what works for you is super important here. So that's your weekly meal plan, your weekly goals. So read through your challenge handbook. That's going to provide you with all the sources, how to build your plate method, a little bit more about the plate method. All that stuff is right in there, okay? So get on your HSN app, make sure it's downloaded, make sure you have your profile created, and that you're doing stuff in there. That's my way of seeing whether you're on track or not. Complete your habits and goals. So checking those off on your calendar and on your app, okay? Cool. That's all I got for you folks. I apologize that this isn't the live recording, but we still got you something. I'm so glad that you guys chose to do this with us all. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Reach out to the Facebook group, reach out to me. It'll be great either way. The best diet, the best way to get a healthy lifestyle in terms of nutrition is the plan that works for you. So let's start where you are and let's do what we can. And we're going to make great progress. All right, guys, have a great day and we will talk soon. See you next Saturday.